not so shiny. So this is like the coal from here. It's not the best kind of coal. This is a coal that comes from somewhere else. That's the really good kind of coal. So I can tell you, our coal is young coal. So it hasn't been forming very long. So if I say young coal, who could guess how many years old this coal might be? It's very young coal. It's not, yeah? Victor, what do you think? 10,000. Okay. How about if you multiply by 1,000? How about if you multiply 10,000 times 1,000? Then what do we got? What do you think? Is your name Kai Ching? Kai. Okay, Kai.
Whoa.
You're getting there. 10 million. Were you about to say 10 million? Yeah. So 10 million. Now multiply by 5.
What? Huh?
You got 50 million year old coal. But this coal here is probably a lot older. This coal could be 300 million years old.
Oh my God.
Okay, and who knows why coal burns? This is a really hard question. So for fifth graders, this is like up here. Why does coal burn? There's a couple different answers. Let's see, who haven't I called on you? Did I call on you?
You already did.
Okay.
You called on most of us.
Did I call? I haven't called on wisdom yet. Go ahead.
You did.
Well, the reason maybe why coal burns is because whenever like an item is like black and heat is on it, it burns very quickly.
Yeah, just like charcoal, right? Charcoal that you could buy in the store. That's you're on the right track there. Hey, how about yes? Oh, you're both right. So it has to do with the minerals in here, the chemicals.
I was gonna say that.
And one more answer, Vincent.
When you put something under really high, it might melt into magma or something.
Yeah, that's true. But what this one does, which is cool, is once you light it on fire, it starts giving you energy back. And a lot of things that you can melt and burn, they won't do that. The reason for it, actually we're standing on the reason for it right here. Are you standing on a little piece of grass?
Yeah.
And if you look around you, do you see a bunch of trees? The reason that coal burns is because it's made of plants. And the reason there's energy in plants is because they took it from the sun. So really, when you burn the coal, you are releasing the sun's energy that the plants stored up and kept. So coal comes from plants. But the question still is, how did it get to be a rock? How did those plants get to be a rock? It's a tough question. I'm just going to tell you, because it might take a minute. So if I go back 50 million years when this coal first started its life, before it looked like this was a big swamp. So instead of standing up on the side of a hill, on the side of a mountain, you would be standing up to here in water with trees and plants all around you. And every time one of those plants died, or every time one of those trees dropped a branch, it fell into the water. But it stayed there, and it stacked up higher and higher in the water until it was this thick, and it became something called peat, P-E-A-T. And so after a while, this was all happening at the edge of the ocean that used to be here. After a while, the ocean got higher, and it went up above the swamp. And then sand started to come down from the mountains way over there, and the sand buried all that plant stuff. And then some mud came down on top and buried the sand and the mud stuff. And it kept going like that again and again and again for millions of years until that first layer of plants from the swamp was miles deep in the earth. Miles deep in the earth. And there it got squeezed, it got heated up, and slowly, 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 it changed into coal.
Wow.
So the earth is kind of, I mean, to me, it's almost magical the way that geology works. And so this is a great place to study geology. In fact, if you look at this hill over here, can you see how it's got stripes in it? What do you think those stripes are? Victor.